Greetings and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm Mateo and this is episode number 5. Let's get started. In today's episode, we're going to be rescuing those pesky Kerbals that are always requesting your help in the orbit of Kerbin. It could be the orbit of any celestial body, but at the start of the game, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff like this, and you may be curious on how to do this, how to accomplish this, so let's do that now. It doesn't matter which one it appears, so it's just about their name, and I think Catkiss is a cool name. Catkiss. So we're gonna rescue Catkiss. I'm going to check here and see, yep, just like I expected. This is Catkiss. And notice the one I didn't accept isn't being shown, so you have to accept the quest in order for it to show their location. And so I'm going to try to launch, intercept Catkiss here, bring her home in a craft that I create. And I believe it'll add an astronaut in addition to all the funds that it gives you. So it gives you something like 80,000 funds. Let's see. Yeah, 80,000 plus funds right there for the accepting and completion. But in addition to that, you get a bonus 65,000. Just for the fact that you're going to get a free astronaut. That's pretty cool. Kerbal Nut. My apologies, Kerbal Nut. Okay, so my plan here is to set it up in a ship or vehicle that has an open seat. And fortunately, the last craft I created, I could do just that. So we're not going to have to really worry about a build on this one, and I'll show you why. I have a probe core in here. That'll allow the ship to control itself. I believe you need an antenna and solar panels and batteries help a lot. But this ship should be able to control itself, and hopefully there's enough solar panels here to sustain it too. So we're just going to try to rescue our Kerbal using a pre-made craft that we made from our last mission. There we go. We're going to target the ship here, and then kick our pilot out and see if this works. Okay, so we're a little crooked here. It's not a big deal. So I want to launch an intercept with Catkiss here. And, I'm not certain when I should launch, but I do know how, if I make any kind of error, how I can fix that. So maybe it's best that I don't have this perfect launch where everything lines up. That way you can see the thought process behind getting this debris and this craft close to each other while we're in orbit. The fact that the altitude here is only 79, 80 kilometers, I mean, that's pretty low, so we're not going to be able to warp speed very fast. I'm just going to go full throttle, because now we have struts. And this ship should fly itself with a probe core. I will see you guys in orbit. Okay, so we've obtained orbit, and you can see I did my best to make these two lines match. And when these objects have the same orbit, the same periapsis and apoapsis, they travel at the same speed. So what I need to do, this is my craft, this is our rescue craft, and this is our target. I want my target to catch up to me. So I need to make my orbit slightly larger than my target's. And I'm just going to burn a little bit here. So I want my apoapsis just to come out a little bit. Actually, before I do anything, I'm going to set this as target. And this will give you these nodes that say this is the closest point in which these two objects are to each other throughout this revolution around the planet. So you can see we start getting closer naturally here. And I'm sure if I just let things go, we get closer and closer and closer. Just the way it is. Actually, just to prove that point, we're going 50x speed. So I can't accelerate this to 1,000 times warp speed to make it faster. However, you can see that just right there, they got a little bit closer. and this will continue happening. And eventually, you'll start getting these intersection points that are right on top of each other. I'm talking less than a kilometer, and when you're that close, it's simple to fix relative speed and just get a Kerbal into a pod. Let's see how close we get one more time on this. So it's just a tiny little tick. All right, I'm going to slow things down a bit just for a moment. And then I want to go prograde. The ship's a little slow for doing this. We're going to use warp to stop so we don't fling by it. I'm just going to open up the throttle a tiny bit and push my Apo just a bit. You can see what it's doing to the intersection points. Now the thing is, you don't want to do too much speed because this is also increasing the relative speed of the objects together. So what I mean is, if I were to have waited, eventually they'd be on top of each other and they'd be slowly drifting past each other. Now, if I'm in a rush and I open this apoapsis up way up here, but I get a nice intersection point, when they do meet at that intersection point, they're going to be flying past each other, and it's a major pain in the bum. So I'm just going to give it a little more fuel here. I like the way that second, is this the second one, intersects too? Yeah, so that one's getting really close. I'm going to get to the first intersect, and it's going to update, and I'm going to see how close that next one is. So at this point, let's wait one more revolution and see what happens to this node. It'd be nice if I could warp a little faster. And there you go, perfect. Now that that's updated, you can see our next revolution, how close this point gets. 86 kilometers is a huge, huge separation still. But we can actually, just for ha-has, mess with a maneuver node here and see what happens if we slow down. It went to 90, so if we speed up a little, drops way down to 58. 6 kilometers. 19. So we had a really nice 6 kilometer mark. 3.4. There's a point that I think we can rescue our Kerbal from their doomed destiny. We're going to be within 6 kilometers. 3.4, I mean. And we could probably even tweak that a little more. However, my ship's just reached the node, so I'm going to get on this heading here and just establish this and then try again with the maneuver node. Just 15 delta V. It's very, very little. Whoa! It's hard to keep this ship steady because it's so heavy, and I did not install SAS. Okay, I'm going to close that out, check the distance, 3-3, and one more time. We'll pick this spot so we have 1 minute and 40 seconds before we get there. So we don't want to do that. I made the distance greater. That made the distance greater. We're probably the best we're going to get at this point. But that's not a problem. We can work with 3 kilometers. It's a great distance. But the game gives you so many tools to overcome these obstacles. Here, you can click on this, and you want this set to target. You'll see this is our heading, and this is where our target is. So we're actually heading towards our target with a relative speed of 38 meters per second. And the distance to our target is 8 kilometers. We can try to aim our ship. So this is our heading, and this is our target's location. I'm going to aim opposite of our heading just a little bit and watch our heading, watch our speed here. But you can see our heading, see how it starts drifting towards this pink dot here. All right, I'm going to close this off now, and you'll see when I look at this, it was something like 3.6 or 3.8 kilometers. I bet this is going to be a lot closer. 1.8 kilometer separation. And the thing is, relative speed of 54 meters per second is really fast when things are getting that close. It's actually super dangerous. I just warped it ahead a little bit more, and you can see these two objects on our nav ball drifted apart. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to aim opposite of our direction with the pink in between our new projected heading, and it's going to pull our heading towards this pink dot, which is going to pull this closer, hopefully. I really need to go this way. One thing I should do now, because you can see this point's coming up very quickly, is burn off this speed here and get this as close to 0 as I can. And that is relative speed. If I establish 0 relative speed, we're going to be matched in orbit almost perfectly. 1.4. That's a really, really easy situation to work with. Let's see if we can get 0 though. Just chasing that dot on the nav ball. There we go, 0, 0. And then this is the part which maybe a lot of you are here for. So we're at 600 meters apart. We've established almost 0 for relative speed. And now you just use the bracket key. There you go. We have control, EVA out, space to let go. I'm going to hit R to turn on my pack and use, whoa, she wanted to hold on and just cross my fingers. Now I'm using WASD control and shift. WASD, you know, for your directions, and then control and shift is up and down. You don't want to get this going too fast. Take it slow. If you go too fast, you could get lost. Okay, when they get close, you want to kill that relative velocity as soon as you can. Oh, I'm going way down. Whoa, there we go. And that's just, you know, figuring out which part of WASD shift and control you need. And there you go. I am almost home. Get close enough so I get the board message. Take your time. Don't rush this, because it could cause a lot of problems. I've seen ships start spinning wildly. Maybe we'll see it happen now. Oh. Not always super smooth. Not always perfect at doing this myself. There we go. Now we should be able to board, because we left the seat open. And Cactus, the scientist. Cool, I wanted a scientist. And this ship is a little bit overkill, I'll say. We can get home though. We rescued our stranded Kerbal knot. So what I'm going to do is just burn retrograde, incinerate all this space junk in the atmosphere, and bring this scientist home. Thanks guys, I hope this helped you. Have a great day. Another thing, make sure that you return this to orbit before making any plans. Oops. We don't necessarily need a target either, and that's kind of messing with the UI too. See if I can untarget.